Hi there, blessings. Thank you for being here. I am Drasmin and this is Dragom Oracle. And today I am guided to bring to you a very special reading for the Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And the main theme of this reading is, what dream have you either forgotten or given up on that is really wanting to come alive? Because it is in your highest and best good. It is a part of your soul contract. It is what will really bring that spark and joy back into life. So for our reading, we have three piles, 1, 2, and 3. And before we start, I invite you to take a breath in and out. One more inhale to open, soften into your body, soften into the moment. Exhale, release what came a moment ago, what comes next. One more inhale and exhale, coming into the present moment and feeling into the here now. You're welcome to pause the video for a moment if you need to go and get some water or get comfortable. Okay, so before I dive into our options and the reading for today, right as the computer was warming up, and I'm watching her right now, right as the computer was warming up, there's this white spider. I'm literally watching her spin a web right now on the computer, connecting the top half of the computer to the bottom of the computer, and she was just walking around the screen and just doing her little baby spider thing, and now she's dancing again. So I just I wanted to share the medicine of the spider with you. The spider is a master teacher of bringing our dreams from the subconscious into the conscious. So spider medicine is a very powerful totem to work with. White symbolizes purity. In some cultures, it also symbolizes death and rebirth. So it is the death of, the old day and the rebirth into a new day. And within that space of the death and rebirth, you are in dreaming. And that is where the spider medicine is most effective. That is where a lot of our inspiration comes from. Dreaming is where we process our day and our life. And that feels very resonant with this Neptune retrograde in Pisces energy. So let's talk a little bit about what is Neptune. Okay, so Neptune is the subconscious. It is where the illusions, our dreams, our intuition, our psychic gifts, our spiritual enlightenment, yin, female energy, the subtle, unseen inspiration, all of that, that is Neptunian energy. Very, very female energy, very deep, high priestess kind of energy. And when I say high priestess, it is talking about the divine feminine energy, the divine feminine essence, because we all have that within our bodies, that is directly connected to higher source, to God, to goddess, to your own higher self. It is the internal aspect of the feminine energy. Now, Pisces is the water energy. Pisces is the emotional depths. Wow, what is going on with my mouth right now? Pisces is all about the water and the emotional depths, right? So when Neptune is in Pisces, very much at home. Neptune is home in Pisces energy, so very much at home. However, in retrograde, what happens in retrograde, and this is the general energy for retrograde is about inner reflection, inner realization, retrospection, realization, recalibration, reevaluation. Neptune retrograde in Pisces is about stripping away the illusions, okay, the false realities and the deep fears that do not allow your intuition, your psychic gifts, your inspiration, all of that juicy goodness in the depths of your soul. It strips away the blockages to that, or rather it illuminates the blockages. And once a bell is rung, you can't unring the bell, right? So once things are seen, then you can't unsee it. And then you get to have the power of choice and free will as the gift of being in the human experience to do something about it, to say, oh, I see the illusions, I see the blockages, I see the falsities. Fear is an acronym for false evidence appearing real. Fear is courage making itself known. Okay. Yeah, spider's gone into the computer now. That's just great. I'm so distracted by the spider right now, like it just keeps disappearing in and out of this reality into a different dimension. Oh, I get it. We're going in and out of the conscious to the subconscious, and the spider is here to help with that. She is just so active right now. So that's what the Neptune retrograde energy in Pisces is all about. It is helping us realize and look at those fears from an empowered space of, wow, you know what? This isn't as bad as I have perceived it to be. And now I get to face that fear. So fear also stands for face emotions, face everything and rise. Okay. Feel everything and rise. So this energy is active from June 30th to December 6th. As I'm recording this video, it's already the middle of July, but there was a lot of big energy going on at the beginning of July. So I was very much focused on receiving those energies for myself and for the collective whole. If you're like, what are you even talking about? I'm talking about the 777 portal. I did do an activation on my Facebook page, Thriving HSP Portal. It is timeless. So, if you feel guided to receive that, it is a sovereignty reclamation activation, as well as a deep healing of the heart and sexual energies. So if you're guided to receive that, head to my videos, my past few videos, and check out the 777 Sovereignty Super Boost pick a card, and the link for that is in the description box. So I was just very much, in that 10-day ritual, holding space for myself and the collective, and it was very intense. So anyway, whenever you receive this reading is exactly when it's meant for you. Trust that you receive the messages exactly when your soul is ready to receive them. And now, without further ado, let's get into our reading. So we have three options here. You can take one, two, or all three of them. Take what resonates, leave the rest. This is a good opportunity for you to practice trusting and leaning into your intuition, which is what the Neptune retrograde in Pisces energy is really doing for us. It's helping us bring the dreams from that conscious, subconscious to the conscious, and helping us strengthen our intuition, right? Because when we are in touch with our intuition, then we're truly empowered in our lives. Okay, so for our groups, we have group 1, group 2, group 3. I'm going to show you the picture for group 1. And there's an affirmation at the bottom I'll read to you later. Okay. Group 2. And group 3. Okay. So I have some oracle cards that I've pulled, and we're going to look at these oracle cards, and I'm also going to pull tarot. I was guided to use the vice versa tarot so we can really get into the depths of the psyche. So if you're ready, let's start with group 1. Okay, group 1. Your affirmation is, we are all working towards the same goal, joy. Whether it seems like it or not, we are all working towards the same ultimate goal of joy. However, your approach may be different, yet trust that all of it is working. Okay, joy. The archetype energy that wishes to support you at this time is visionary, the capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, a willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. And then the third oracle card that I have for you is number 11, truth. Okay, we have the direction of south, so fire, passion, heat, desire, fruition. And the message says, are you living your sacred truth? Your being is like a spirit lodge. Within this sacred place is the realization and the divine light of your creation. Live in your spirit lodge surrounded by peace and joy. Outside of your lodge is the great wilderness where the rest of the world lives. But that wilderness can become a battleground stained by the blood of ignorance and earthly pain. To have lasting power in the world, you must earn the trust of those around you. Most people live without trust and a sacred place within, without a spirit lodge, and as such, they do not know how to enter the spirit lodges of others. Live within your sacred truth so that you may know peace and joy in the greatest wilderness and beyond. Okay. So with these cards here, we have truth, visionary, and joy. Okay. So what I'm feeling for you, group one, is this Neptune retrograde in Pisces energy is awakening the true voice within you. And the true voice within you is one that truly wants to experience joy in this life, yet has also experienced some pain, some heartache, some loss, some disappointment, right? And who hasn't in this human experience? Who hasn't experienced loss and pain and disappointment and heartache? Oh, Spider, I'm going to be so sad to take you outside when we're done, but you go ahead and weave your beautiful web that you're weaving over here. Thank you for bringing your medicine in. So, you know, this Neptune, we're going to look at tarot here in a moment and pull some cards to dive even deeper. But generally what I'm getting for you is you are being shown where you have played small, where you have hid your truth, where you haven't fully spoken, you know, what your needs are, what your boundaries are, what your desires are, because there's that aspect of you that wants, you know, joy, that desires to cultivate joy, yet there's this distortion that, you know, by being a people pleaser, so to speak, you know, then you don't have to ruffle feathers and everybody's happy. But what that ends up doing is that does you a disservice, right? You're cultivating joy at the expense of your joy, right? And that doesn't seem very joyful or truthful with you. So you're being asked to really just look at where you play small, because you are so focused on creating joy that you're sacrificing your own joy. And a true visionary is able to realize that part of being in the human experience is experiencing pain, is discomfort. The way we grow is through discomfort and challenge. And it's okay if, you know, some people don't like what you have to say. You're not here to coddle everybody's feelings. You're here to live your most authentic life. Okay. So let's get 3 cards. No, let's get 1 card that is the biggest block to you embodying your truth, to you really living out your joy, not at the expense of your joy. So 1 card, please. What is the biggest block? Okay. 5 of Swords. Okay. 5 is that pause point and Swords is the mind. So 5 of Swords is saying that you're always in between. You know, if I say this, it'll make X, Y, and Z happy, but not A, B, and C. And I care more about X, Y, and Z than I do about A, B, and C. So I'm going to say this, but neither of this actually makes me happy. You know, 5 of Swords is standing in between yes and no, and just kind of like being carried by the current of your thoughts, not actually standing in your authority and saying, you know what, I'm going to make a decision about what I speak and what I do and what I feel and how I go about things. Rather, I'm just going to let myself be carried by the current and always stand in this place where I'm kind of looking at my life happening to me, yet I'm not actually engaged in it, because one way or another, it's going to upset and hurt somebody and, you know, interrupt that joy perhaps for a little moment. And I don't want to be responsible for that. Okay. So that's what the 5 of Swords. So that the 5 of Swords is basically saying your choice to not take responsibility for yourself, right? Because we can only take responsibility for self. We are not responsible for the actions and reactions of others. We are only responsible for self. So this card is here in the blockage is saying, you know, your unwillingness to take responsibility for your own personal power, for your own truth, is what's creating the blockage. You being in your head all about the what ifs rather than being in the reality of what is the blockage. So how do we shift this blockage? Let's get 3 cards to shift this blockage. Two of Wands on the inner. Okay. Death on the outer. And the Lovers in the outer. Okay. So basically what this is saying, 2 of Wands, decision. 13, death. You got to let go of this old pattern and this old mindset of just standing here, you know, not really making a decision, and accept that you have both darkness and light within you. And darkness is simply light, shadow, and sound. That's what darkness is. So by accepting the darkness, by accepting light, you are accepting darkness, because you cannot have light without the darkness. You cannot have night without day. So by continuing to self-reject, you are rejecting your own dreams, your own desires, your own passions, right? And so it's time now, you're being guided. Look, bottom of the deck, 21 on the inner, okay? It's time now to make that internal choice and decision to say, you know what? I am both the light and the shadow, and I need to use the power of my sound to take authority of that darkness that I perceive as darkness. That's not actually darkness. It's simply just my light and my shadow, and the sound of my voice, the sound of my truth, the sound of my, you know, proclaimed needs, desires, boundaries, so on and so forth. Okay, look over here, 2 of Wands holding the sun. 13, the sun is in the background. 6, the sun is shining bright with an angel coming out of it. Okay, so it's like the guidance is very clear. You need to make a decision to step fully into this transformation so that you can really embrace both aspects of yourself, recognize that both aspects of yourself are divine, are perfect. Okay, in this death card, we see the symbol of a lily, and lily symbolizes innocence and purity. And we also see the lotus, which symbolizes difficulty and transformation, right? So it's like something that I've learned in my journey is maturity is the integration of knowledge, you know, which is what you pick up when you read a book, when you listen to a podcast, you know, that is knowledge. When you're literally absorbing information, that is knowledge. And then you have experience. When you put that knowledge to test, when you are given experiences in life that help you refine that knowledge that you have absorbed. And then innocence, being able to look at life and realize like, okay, yeah, there's stuff that's going to come up that's going to be difficult and challenging, yet I can continue to keep a playful, joyful, jovial attitude about things. That is when maturation happens. Okay, that is wisdom. So the lily is representing that innocence, and the lotus is representing the maturity. So it's like the maturity and the innocence are sitting down having a conversation. The crow here is about memory, the deep cellular memory. And over here in the background is the feminine intuition that's dancing naked in the sun. Like, yeah, I'm over here playing, having the time of my life, while, you know, the 2 aspects, there's 2 masculine energies, you know, which is basically the will, okay, and the desire. The will and desire need to just come into acceptance of each other and recognize that desire can never be fulfilled, and you can always act on your desires and be satisfied for a moment. And then you're going to have to come back to that point where you don't feel that as satisfied, and then the desire comes back in. But by loving these 2 aspects of yourself, you know, the nurturer, the transformation, the light, the night, so on and so forth. That is when you come into deep inner harmony with yourself and you shift this blockage of not being responsible for yourself because you're choosing to love all aspects of yourself. And, 21 at the bottom of the deck, a world card. The world card is basically like you finally bring this cycle to a rest, okay? Because 21 is about cycles, okay? It's about a big chapter, a big movie that has ended. You're bringing this cycle to rest where you're no longer in indecision. At the top of the deck, we have 5 of Wands. Again, that 5 energy on the inner, again, it's like you no longer resist your intuition. You no longer resist your inner voice. You no longer resist that authority. You're getting out of that 5 energy. 5 is a good energy, right? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with 5. 5 is important because, it's like a moment to like pause and just be like, wow, look how far I've come. And yeah, I've got some ways to go, but look how far I've come. And in how far I've come, what's worked, what's not worked, so that when I move forward, I can take what's worked and be more effective, right? So 5 is an important energy. But when you get stuck in that, then you don't actually progress in life. And that's when, you step into stagnation, and then you disrespect yourself and not by not honoring your truth. Okay. So now that we know how to empower this blockage, right? Now, how do we actualize this visionary that you are? How do we bring this truth to the forefront? The world card wants to come out again. Let's see if it'll come out as I keep shuffling. Okay, 5 of the Cups on the outer. Interesting. And 19 on the outer. Okay, so basically how you begin to actualize your truth is by being honest about where you've been. Like, talk about, your losses and heartache. Talk about, how you felt left out on the cold. But the 19 is here to say that when you talk about these things, talk about it as if you were a child sharing your story, right? Rather than an adult who's been beaten down by life and who's just, bitter and angry and resentful and has a chip on their shoulder. You're being asked to find that balance between speaking your truth and being honest about where you've been, and recognizing that you can share your difficulties without it being so depressing, is the word that's coming to mind. Does that make sense? So I hope that makes sense, because that makes sense too. So for example, like, let's say you had a relationship that, betrayed you, that betrayed trust, that violated, that violated trust within you, right? You could look at that experience and you could share about it with, a close friend, your loved ones, your community, wherever, and how your diary, your journal, always start with your journal is what I recommend. But you could write in your journal and say, you know what? I was very loving in this relationship. I gave it my best. I chose to give the benefit of the doubt. And I wasn't really appreciated for, all the awesomeness that I gave into that. And that really sucks. And it made me sad for a very long time. And I am going to choose to not be sad about it anymore, because I am an awesome person and I do deserve to be loved. And I do deserve to have, somebody in my life that I trust. So I'm going to choose to stop being sad about what happened. I'm going to choose to, go see a counselor or talk to a friend about this and really start working on healing my heart again, because life is short and I do want to experience love and a beautiful relationship with someone else. So I'm going to engage my inner child again and say, hey, you know what? I know you got scared for a moment there and I was really, really sad and I wasn't really paying attention to you, but I'd like to change that story. So how can we change that story? You see the tone? That's the way you want to start approaching these experiences of your past that have really hurt you, that have really, put you in this place of the 5, another 5 here. So, the way to get out of the 5 is to give it voice. I always say, the steps towards awakening and actualization is by acknowledging. You have to acknowledge the reality as it is in the moment. That's not to say that you're perpetuating the story, because you're not going to sit there and continue being a victim. You're just giving it voice once and for all, and then you're going to choose to take action. So acknowledge, okay, then apologize once to yourself for having neglected yourself for so long, perhaps to another person, if you left them out in the cold, because the 5 of Cups is also an energy of being left out in the cold, right? You can apologize to your friend, like, hey, I was going through a really hard time, and I was dealing with issues of self-worth and loneliness, and I haven't been the greatest friend, and you know what, I could really use a friend right now. Can you help me get back on the saddle? Having that kind of a lighthearted approach will really help you start shifting away from that 5 energy, so that you can really start honoring your truth and be the leader of your life, because a visionary is the leader of your own life, right? You're able to see the clarity of what your choices and decisions are leading you towards, even if nobody else does. And that's a beautiful gift. Okay, so let's look at the gift. So if you do honor this process, right? If you take the advice from these messages and you decide, number 2 of Wands here, you decide to stop resisting the growth of yourself by accepting the different aspects of yourself, by sharing your difficult experiences from a lighthearted approach, what is the gift? Okay, 3 of Cups. I saw this earlier at the bottom of the deck when I was shuffling, and it did come out. So 3 of Cups on the inverse. What this is going to do is it's going to start healing your heart in a very deep level. 3 of Cups. Cups is the emotions. Okay. 3 is the union of mind, heart, body. This card is in the night, right? And everything begins within. So as you choose to really just step into your pain and your discomfort and give it voice and give it gentleness, and, be sweet to yourself. If a child or an animal is hurt, my hope is that you would be kind to them, that you would be gentle with them, right? So just look, bottom of the deck, King of Swords, top of the deck, Queen of Cups on the external, right? It's like the gift is that you're really going to be both very clear with who you are, what you want, what your needs are, what your boundaries are, what your desires are. And you're going to be super loving about it, because you love yourself so much. People are going to look at you and say, wow, you know what? I want to be like that. I want to be empowered. I want to be clear and decisive and confident and loving. And I can be all of that because they've done it, right? By doing your own work, by raising a glass to yourself and saying, you know what? I'm going to invite more playfulness into my life. I'm going to invite healing through gentleness, because healing doesn't always have to be fire and brimstone. Healing can absolutely be gentle and playful. Yes, there are going to be moments where, you're going to cry yourself to sleep or lose your voice from crying so hard, or, you might need to scream, go to the mountains and scream at the top of your lungs, punch a pillow, freeze some water and, take a hammer to those ice cubes. I've done that. Hit a punching bag, whatever it is. You may need to get some of that energy out. But once you get all of that energy out, once you feel your way through it, right? Feel everything and rise, then you're going to really come into this greater love for yourself, where even in the night, okay, even in the night and the darkness, which I find this interesting, right? Because these were all sun cards. They're all light cards, right? But the gift is that even though you bring everything to light, you're going to feel very much more centered in your shadow. You're very much going to feel more empowered. You're not going to be uncomfortable with the unseen, with the unknown, with your, subconscious mind, with your dreams, with your intuition, with your inspiration, with that feminine energy. You're going to become very comfortable and familiar with that energy. And it's going to bring you a lot more joy into your life, because you're going to recognize, like, wow, you know what? This is the path to joy. By just being joyful within myself, everything I seek starts within me. So let's close out your reading group 1 with one more oracle message from the Wellness Oracle deck. Okay. The secret of creating anything desired, get happy. Yes, that's what I was talking about, tapping into that inner child, tapping into that playfulness. As you practice happy thoughts, you practice your connection with source, your well-being, your intuition, and life itself. From your place of being happy, you have access to all that you desire. Absolutely, So the law of attraction plus the law of assumption plus the law of action is what creates realization. Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, attraction. I desire to be joyful. Assumption. I choose to be joyful in this moment. Action. I am going to be joyful by taking 10 minutes out of my day to go color, or to, play with some clay, or to go sing to my plants. Whatever it is that feels playful and lighthearted, that helps you just get you into that state of lightness. When a child is upset, more often than not, they're not going to come and say, I want to talk. They're going to come and say, I want to play. I tutored kids for almost 20 years. I was a teacher for over 10 years with the little ones. I'm still a teacher, but now I work more with adults, and the thing about children is when they're hurting, when they're sad, when they're uncomfortable, their automatic response is to play, because play is a way that they can come back into feeling safe within themselves, and then they open up. I had more breakthroughs with my little kiddos when I just sat down and I played a game with them of Mancala or checkers or Rubik's Cube or whatever, just sitting there playing a game. And, halfway through the game, they stop playing. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, I'm just thinking that I feel really sad. And I'm like, why are you feeling so sad? And then they open up because they feel safety. They feel seen in their playfulness, in their innocence and their joy. And then they're able to really open up, So sometimes the way to tap into your emotional healing is by getting happy, even as contradictory as that sounds, by choosing to just, assume that you're happy, then you'll be able to feel enough safety within yourself where it's like, oh, okay, now that I've created a little bit of safety within myself, we can dive deeper into what is this uncomfortable truth that I'm hiding. Okay, we can work on this for 5 minutes. This is where boundaries come in, right? This is why the masculine to masculine energies come in, because you need discipline, you need structure, right? Not in a do this or you're going to be punished kind of discipline way, but in a, discipline in the sense of, hey, you want something, you're going to have to put effort and you're going to need to be balanced about it, meaning that you need to decide how much time, and you can absolutely, set alarms or timers like, okay, we're going to color for 10 minutes, then we're going to write in our journal for 10 minutes, and then we're going to come back and color for 10 minutes, and then we're going to take a walk, and then we're going to have a snack, and then we're going to come back and journal. And so breaking it down into little bite-sized pieces, breaking down, this work, this soul work, and in peppering moments of playfulness and joyfulness in there will really help you tap into the truth, will really help you tap into the vision of yourself and your life that you hold. That is really the goal of joyousness. And you can be joyful right here, right now. Okay. So that is the message that I have for you, beloved one. Thank you so much for being here. I send you love and blessings. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to hit the like or subscribe button. Your feedback, your shares, all of your engagement really helps my channel grow, and I'm deeply grateful for that energy exchange. Love and blessings until we meet again. All right. Hi there, group 2. How you all doing? Oh, excuse me. Oh. Okay, group 2. So let's get into your reading, group 2. Okay, so your card says, to feel better is the root of every desire. For us to feel better is the only reason any one of us wants anything. How true is that? Look at that beautiful card. So I'll set that here. The archetype that wishes to work with you is the orphan child. Independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. Wow. Okay. And the oracle message that I have for you, this is the card. Look how beautiful that is. So beautiful. The card is 37, illumination, the direction of east. So east is about new beginnings. It's about spring. It's about a fresh start. Okay. And the message says, as darkness comes, the mirrors of your spirit reflect different images. It is the time when the world changes and your being begins to glow. Reflect on the new vision that has been living on the perimeter of your consciousness. An idea is stalking you and awaits your invitation, a place within you to begin life. The totality of your creativity comes after you have begun your work on the sacred painting of your life. It is then that the muses of inspiration surround you like eagles and cheer you on to illumination. Take your responsibility for your work and yourself and your life, and illumination will follow. Okay, so group number 2, what I'm getting for you is that what I'm getting for you is you have lived a life up to this point where you have had a lot of support, shall we say, around you. Okay. You have had a lot of friends, a lot of family, a lot of community, a lot of direction. You know, you've had a lot of energy around you. Yet, even with all of this love around you, it hasn't felt like it's really you. And so it's made you feel orphaned. It's made you feel like an outcast. It's made you feel like I don't really belong. And it's also brought up a lot of feelings of guilt and shame because you recognize that you have so much love and support around you when, you know, a lot of other people that you might know or that you might, you know, witness on social media or out in the world, you know, you're like, these people don't have the love and attention and support that I have. So I should be grateful. I should be happy. I should, you know, not complain because I've got it really good. However, the problem with that is that it isolates you within yourself, right? Rather than being honest about what your true heart's desire is and that you want what you want and that what you want is more than likely not what or you perceive, right? It could be true, but your perception right now is that if you speak out on what you actually want to be doing with your life and who you want to be with, like, for example, you know, if you are actually gay or a lesbian, right? But you've been raised in family values of, you know, a man marries a woman, so to speak, right? And you might be the first one to, you know, come out of the closet, you know? So it's like you've just been living your life surrounded by all this love and affection, but you've been self-rejecting. Okay. And that's just an example, right? That's just the one that came to me for some reason. So I'm rolling with that. Okay. So, you know, now it's like this Neptune retrograde in Pisces energy is asking you, you know, the East is a brand new beginning. It's asking you to say, hey, you know what? Are you really scared of speaking your truth? Or are you more scared of, you know, the possibility of you doing life alone for a minute while you transition, right? Because sometimes when we speak our truth, sometimes when we speak on the true desires of our heart, it might take a moment of adjustment for the people, you know, in our life to come around to the idea. They may never come around to the idea, right? And so that triggers some deep fears within you, which are, you know, totally valid. I'm going to take a moment here and acknowledge you and say, you know, your fears are totally valid. This spider is just going off on this beautiful web on my computer. I just like, I kind of wish I'd taken her outside before we started, but I didn't feel like that was right. So Ah, so beautiful. And you know, the spider energy being here with this reading is just like really helping to bring to light. It's a white spider, right? I can barely see her in the light, but she's doing her thing and she's unbothered. She clearly gives no fucks. So, okay. And I guess, you know, that might be the message for you. You know, it's time for you to stop giving so many fucks about what other people are thinking or what they might want for you. And YOLO, you only live once. You literally only live once. So, you know, whether it's coming out of the closet, you know, with your sexuality, with your spirituality, with your dreams, with your desires, with maybe wanting to move, you know, away from family, maybe wanting to travel the world, whatever it is, you know, it's time for you to, this energy is here to help you confront that fear of having to go it alone for a short moment, right? Not being so codependent on your family, but learning how to cultivate a sense of interdependence, which comes when you learn how to be independent on your own, and then you come back and learn how to be interdependent. Okay, interdependent means you co-create. You're not like enmeshed. Okay, you're co-creating together. So let's look at what is the biggest block to you coming out of your own self-imposed darkness. Okay, the 11 on the inner, okay? The justice, the 11 is the opportunity, okay? So the biggest block that you have is this feeling of fairness. Like you feel like I have so much love and support that it feels almost unfair that if I choose to follow my heart's desire, if I choose to come out of my closet, if I choose to ask her out, or if I choose to, you know, pursue that guy or that girl, you know, because I've loved them for so many years, you know, or if I choose to quit this job that my parents, you know, paid so much money for, and, you know, they were immigrants to this country and they sacrificed everything so that I could become the first doctor in my family. And I don't really want to be a doctor. I want to be a musician, you know, whatever it is. The 11 on the inverse, it's like, you know, it's almost like this feeling of like, you feel like it's so not fair that you have so much love and support, but you're not loved and supported for what you actually want. And it's created this energy of freezing. It's like you're frozen within yourself because of this mentality and this belief system that has grown within you and has become a literal block for you. You know, it's like you're not even wanting to, you know, the sword right here represents clarity of thought, but the sword is hidden behind you, you know, wrapped up in all these vines. And there's also, I was gonna say these look like shells, and then I look closer and it's actually the balance, but that she's also holding the balance, but it's almost like what I saw was shells. So I'm just going to go with that. It's like you've put your feelings to the back burner. You've put your clarity to the back burner. You've put your confidence to the back burner. You've just put yourself on the back burner, and you're just kind of going through life, going through the emotions. But the more you continue doing that, the more that's going to feed that energy of it's not fair. It's not fair, right? And that just makes you feel more and more orphaned and isolated. And the 37 here and this card here saying, you know, to feel better is the root of every desire. You just want to feel good about your life. You want to feel good about how you dress, who you love, where you work, where you live. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? It just might mean that you might ruffle some feathers and some people may not get around. And that's just, you know, you are not responsible for the actions and the reactions of other people around you. So let's look at how to shift away from this energy and this mindset of it's not fair. Okay, let's get 3 cards, please. Okay, 5 of Cups on the outer. Okay, Ace of Pentacles on the outer reverse. It's rare I take reversals in this deck, but I'm feeling called to, so I'm just going to trust it. Okay, just 1, please. Okay, and the 21 on the outer. Ah, sweet, sweet group number 2. Okay, you need to, the guidance is that you need to recognize that you have something very powerful within you. Okay, Ace of Pentacles is about something tangible, something solid, whether it's, a passion for life and having so much love to give, and you're just not giving it in the right places, in the right ways right now. Or if it's, your skills, your talents, your time, your energy, Pentacles is about wealth, and wealth is could be a number of things, right? It could be money, time, wealth, resources, talents, skills, excess, whatever. It's like you have this gift, but what I'm getting from this is like you literally have this gift within you, and it's in between, on the reverse, upside down, between the 5 of Cups and the World card. It's like the way to get out of this unfairness is to acknowledge that you actually haven't been loved and accepted for who you are. Okay, you have been loved for what somebody else perceives you to be, and that's a very hard truth to face. I feel you. Okay, but you have to acknowledge and admit that to yourself. Okay, I'm being called to share with you. So I have a group on my Facebook page. It's the only group I run. It's the Thriving HSP portal, highly sensitive power portal. And the reason I'm sharing that with you is because my focus in this group is about shifting from surviving to thriving. And it's almost like you're on the reverse of that. It's like you have this idea that you're going to backtrack. You're going to go from thriving to being a survivor because, you've lived your whole life based on what everybody else wants you to do. So you're thriving, that you're scared of, having to go through a famine, so to speak. If you decide to take action and look at what it is that you have to offer, look at this gift, you may not have the support, and that's a very real thing that's coming up for you, right? But the 21 here with the World card on the outer is saying that once you just acknowledge 2 things. One, I haven't really been loved for who I am, and I have this gift and this talent that I really feel is going to bring me a lot of wealth and happiness. Once you literally acknowledge those 2 things, you literally just can, watching this video, you can pause this video and say, you know what? I acknowledge that I haven't been loved and appreciated for who I truly am. And because of this, it has blocked me from sharing my true talents and who I am. That is immediately going to end the cycle for you. Like we go from a 5 to a 1 to a 21. Like there's no stop and collect your $200. Okay. There's no thinking twice about it. It's the moment you choose to say no more. I'm not going to continue unloving myself and putting myself out in the cold and, putting this dream on hold because of everybody else. The moment you do that, that's when that cycle ends for you. That's amazing. So now that the cycle ends for you, how do we then, actualize who you truly are? Let's get to messages. Okay. How do you, okay, the 0 on the inside and the Knight of Swords on the outside. So once you do that, then you take a leap of faith. 0 is about a brand new beginning. And the Knight of Swords is about charging ahead. You're like, it's going to be what I'm getting for you. And this is the energy of the East. Okay. This is the energy of air, which is in the direction of the East. This is the energy of new beginnings. I picked up 37 is a 10. It's a 1 and a 0. There's a 0 here. There's a 1 on the inverse here, right in the heart of your reading. There was 2 1s here, so it's like, this is going to be quick. Okay. Even though it's been a slow buildup for many, possibly years. Okay. this movement is going to be super quick. Look, Ace of Wands, bottom of the deck, okay, or top of the deck, okay? Ace of Wands on the outer, and then 10 of Cups right below that, okay? So it's like, it's going to happen real quick. You're going to say, okay, you know what? It's not fair. It's not fair. I'm just going to speak my truth. And I'm going to say, it's not fair that I haven't been loved for who I am. It's not fair that I haven't been acknowledged for my unique gifts and talents. And I'm going to say no more. It ends with me. And I'm going to take a leap of faith and just go into the depth of my soul, okay? Because the 0 is in the inner, which means that you need to go within first, right? And then when you go within yourself, you're going to find the clarity of like, okay, what is the direction that I need to take? Okay. Example, I have, loved, my parents have been wanting me to get married for a long time, and I've said no. And the real reason that I've said no is because I really like this girl that I met 20 years ago, and she just happens to be single now. And I'm going to say, and this girl that I really like is nothing like what my family would approve. But you know what? I have something I want to offer her, even if nobody else agrees. So I'm going to take this leap of faith. I'm going to accept this within myself, go into journeying with yourself, get the clarity of like, okay, I'm acknowledging myself, and now I'm going to charge forward and not delay anymore. That's the energy of the Knight of Swords. It's like taking charge and not delaying. It's like you take that sword from behind you that's just been covered with vines, and you're like, I'm going to go and I'm going to speak my truth. Or, another example is, I've been working at this job for so many years, and it has been supporting my family and my wife and my kids. But you know what? I'm not really happy in this job. I need a vacation. I need a break. So I'm going to tell my wife, and I'm going to say, hey, you know what, honey? I've built up enough of a little nest egg for us, and I just need to take a sabbatical for a week and just go, to a men's circle for a week, or I need to go to the mountains for a week, or to the beach, or whatever. I just need some time for myself. And you go, your wife's like very confused, because she's like, I thought we were happy. And you're like, yes, we are happy, but I need some time for myself. And she may not like it, but you know what? That's fine. Other people don't have to like our decisions. And then you go off into the mountains, for a week, or you go to the men's circle for a week, and you're doing like your deep, like, you're having those conversations with yourself of, okay, what do I really want? How do I want to go about it? And as you're sitting there within yourself, listening to your inner voice, supported potentially by the brothers around you, if you are in a men's group, then you suddenly like have that clarity of like, oh, I actually want to move my family from, North Dakota to, New Jersey, I don't know. And there's a really awesome opportunity there that was offered to me 10 years ago. And I just need to reach out and see if they still have that opportunity first. So you reach out and, contact that law firm, and they're like, yeah, actually a position just opened up for you, and we want to make you, a senior senior lawyer. And you're like, perfect. And then you show up and you're like, all right, wifey, I gotta sit down and have this conversation with you. I actually fucking hate living in this town. I don't like the weather. It makes my skin itch. It gives me dandruff. The kids are still young enough where we can move. Are you willing to take this leap of faith with me? And then she might pleasantly surprise you and be like, actually, honey, that sounds great, because I don't really have any female friends here, and I have some friends on, in New Jersey. And then you move together, and your whole life changes. Okay, because that's what this world card is like. Your whole life will change. Okay, so those are like two examples of, you're like, by accepting where you are in the now, and that you've denied yourself your own happiness, and you've put yourself in this energy of being left out in the cold, then you discover this hidden talent within you. So what is the gift of this reclamation? What is the gift of this reclamation? Okay, the Knight of Cups comes out. The gift of this is that you love yourself. You put yourself perhaps first for the very first time. And that is going to open a whole new world for you. Look, Queen of Cups in the outside. It's going to make you a more passionate, loving, caring, joyful, excited person to be in this life. It's going to make you feel more inspired. You're going to show up in a more loving way to your family, to your community, to your home, to your, daily life things, whatever you've got going on. The gift of speaking your truth and taking that decisive action and not delaying. This is quick moving energy. Boom, boom, let's go, let's do this. I might need to take a few days, but this is like quick moving energy. Okay, so let's get one last oracle card to close out your reading. To allow well-being, I must be in joy. In the same way, you cannot set your radio tuner to 98.6 and receive the songs playing on 101 FM. You must set your own vibrational tuner to one of well-being. Feelings of love, joy, passion, exhilaration, fun, interest, etc. are indications of your vibrational match to well-being, right? So up until now, you've just wanted to feel better. And that's great, right? Wanting to feel better is a great place to be, because wanting to feel better is what feeds desire. But then you're realizing that wanting something is not the same as having something. So you're going to take the steps to have what you want. And as you take the steps, you're going to feel more joy. You're going to feel more excited. And the more joy and the more peace and the more exhilaration you feel about whatever it is you're making a decision, that's your sign that you are in the right direction, that you are in the right path, that you have tapped into that fire, that spark, that energy, that desire you're taking forward. And, we ended with the Knight of Cups, which is all about self-love, right? And the best way we can love other people is by loving ourselves first, because then other people can trust what you have to offer them, because you're giving from a cup that is overflowing, not a cup that is empty. Okay, so those are the messages that I have for you, group 2. I'm sending you so much love and blessings. If this message resonated with you and you are feeling so inclined to hit the like, subscribe, comment, all of your engagement greatly helps support my channel and helps me grow, and I'm deeply grateful for that exchange of energy. And if you are interested in a personal reading to have deeper clarity on your action steps forward, I do have a link in the description box below for you to book a private reading with me. Okay, so I send you love and blessings until we meet again. All right. Hi, group 3. Welcome. Thank you for being here. All right. So let's dive into your reading. Okay. So the first oracle message for you is: anything I can imagine being, doing, or having, I can be, do, or have. As you ask yourself why you want it, the essence of your desire is activated and the universe begins to bring it to you. It is as easy to create a castle as it is to create a button. Interesting. Okay, the archetype that wants to work with you is the dilettante. And this energy says, delighting in the arts without having to be a professional, alerting you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. Okay. All right. So I'm starting to see the message. And number 44, East, a new beginning. Witness. Live in your sacred witness. This inner place of silence and observing is your true identity and therefore your true power. Your sacred witness is all you really have when all else is gone. Like monoliths in an ancient valley of great stones, it observes and remembers the passages of the ages. The answers that you find through the timelessness of spirituality and the innocence of nature offer the infinite. Each human being is on his or her own path, each different from yours. Answers to your questions are rarely found in another human. Answer your own questions by reflecting on nature and conversing with your own sacred witness. Okay, so intuitively what I'm getting for you, group 3, is you are being asked to create more in your life in the sense of just having fun with it, not having an agenda, not having a reason, not thinking about, okay, if I choose to spend my time doing X, Y, or Z, is this going to bring money for me? Is, is this going to make, my spouse happy? Is this going to, affect my job or my income? You're basically being asked to just be a little more playful with how you engage with life, okay? With how you, for example, like how you cook your meals, okay? Do you take time to prepare a yummy meal because it brings you joy? Or do you have the mindset of, I just need to eat because I got to get back to work and I got to hustle? Well, work is important, but if you're not living life, life is meant to be experienced. And what I'm really getting for you, group 3, is like you're being asked to experience more of your life, to have more fun with it, to not be so caught up in the mindset of how is this affecting me financially. So let's look at what is the big block for you, group 3. Okay. Page of Cups. Yeah. So the big blockage for you, okay, the Page of Cups is the card of self-love, loving yourself, okay? Knight of Cups, excuse me, not Page, Knight of Cups. The big blockage for you is loving yourself, is saying, you know what? I am worthy of the love that I give. I am worthy of giving myself all of that attention, all of that love, all of that fun, all of that playfulness. You have this mindset that if you're not working or if you're not doing something that is productive, then it's a waste of your time. Okay. And let me tell you that is not a true belief. That is a false belief. Okay. Life is meant to be experienced. Yes, it's important and healthy to have good boundaries, discipline, structure and routine and order, but you also need to have room for fun and play. And so this mindset that you can't give to yourself because it takes away from, being a productive, contributing member of your home, of your society, so on and so forth, it's what's blocking you from just being present and experiencing life and, giving yourself an extra 10 minutes to, warm up the hot water on the stove, okay, instead of throwing it in the microwave. To sit down, with your spouse and have a yummy meal, or sit down with your journal and, actually enjoy your breakfast, give yourself a half hour rather than, grabbing a piece of toast or dry burnt toast and coffee and running out the door and calling it good. You're being asked to give yourself a little more love by stepping back from the grind of doing and working and becoming a witness, and in that witnessing, a co-created participant of your life. Okay, so let's look at 3 cards to shift this blockage. Okay, number 7 on the outer, taking charge, taking action towards yourself. Ace of Wands on the inner. Okay, so taking action towards inspired, aligned action. Okay, when you feel a creative spark, go write down that poem, sketch that idea, write down that recipe, you know, bake that cake, you know, play that game, whatever it is, you know, cook that yummy meal, massage your, you know, hubby's feet, whatever it might be. Okay, taking aligned, inspired action, even if it's completely not what you think you should be doing, that's the point. And then 13, okay? 13 on the inner, okay? So the more you take action externally towards what is inspired joyousness, the more you're going to experience this deep inner transformation where you're going to finally lay to rest this belief system that you have to be producing something in order to exist, right? Life is not just about work, okay? Life is a balance of prayer, pleasure, progress, playfulness, and presence, okay? Let me repeat that. Life is a balance of pleasure, progress, prayer, playfulness, and presence. Okay, so that's what you need to do. You just literally need to take inspired action. And then how do you and then, you know, assuming you take these steps, how do you cultivate more joyousness in your life? We get the 19 on the outer. That just flew out as I was thinking the question. Sometimes the cards come out before I can even like put the question into words, because I have the thought already crystallized in my mind. And that's really, you know, how everything is created. The moment you have a clear thought, creation begins. Okay. So we have the sun on the outer and then the devil on the inner. Okay. So how you actualize this is by leaning into joy and not giving voice to that, not giving power to that voice inside of you that has kept you in this energy where you're just doing for the sake of doing. You're doing because you don't feel like it's right for you to take time out to play, right? The 19 is the sun. The 19 is about the inner child. It's about innocence. It's about playfulness. It's about having fun. It's about, you know, laughing again. It's about, you know, going out and having tea with your friends. It's about just experiencing more pleasure and playfulness in your life, right? So it's like you're literally being asked to give more attention to this and give less attention to that voice in your head that's saying like, oh, why are you playing chess right now? That doesn't support your business. Or why are you baking that cake right now? You should be going and studying that course, you know. And this doesn't have to be about work, okay? This could also be about, you know, school, about education. This could be about, you know, you just always doing for your family and taking care of your family, you know, your wife, your children, your parents, whoever, right? This is about doing for others because that's the only way you feel like you'll be loved. And your inner child is here to say like, hey, actually, you know, I want you to do more things for me. Can we do that? So what is the gift? What is the gift of you, you know, following this guidance, saying no to that voice inside you that says, you know, you need to be working, not playing right now, and actually going and playing when you want to play, right? The gift is 5 of Pentacles on the inner. The gift, let's get one more for this, but basically the gift is saying that you're going to stop feeling like you're never enough, okay? You're going to stop. Yeah, this card also wants to come out. So 5 of Pentacles and the 9 of Wands. You're going to finally like have this breakthrough where you don't, and the top of the deck, 21, right? So that's a major ending. You're going to have this liberation where it's like you're going to realize like, okay, life is not all about work and play. And in fact, when I step away from constantly doing and overthinking and being in my head about all the things that I need to be doing, I realize that a lot of things actually end up taking care of themselves, you know, and sometimes things just need to be left alone. Like there's a saying that says a watch pot never boils. Okay. Basically means like, if you stand there and watch the pot, the second that you turn away, 9 times out of 10 is when the water will start boiling. But if you stand there and watch the pot, you could be doing something else right there. You could be doodling. You could be stretching. You could be, doing a headstand. You could be dancing. You could be, running a bath. Okay. When you plant a seed in the soil, you don't go and dig into the soil every single day to see if it's got roots, right? You just trust that it's doing its thing and you just water it, once, maybe twice a day. That's what it needs. And you just trust that it's going to grow, right? So you're being asked to let yourself grow by not putting so much attention on the growing. That makes sense. Okay. And then the last oracle message to close out your reading for you. As I breathe deeply, I feel myself thrive. Thriving is as natural as breathing itself. By relaxing often and breathing deeply, my natural thriving is enhanced. So you, group 3, would really benefit from cultivating a practice of breath awareness. And what I mean by that is when you wake up in the rise, before you grab your phone and jump into your day, before the kids and the dogs and the cats and everything else comes to ask for your attention, take a few moments, set a timer for like 60 seconds to 3 minutes and just breathe, place a hand on your heart and another on your belly and just notice the inhale and the exhale. And I'm inviting you to, really initiate this practice in your life. So you start that day in that seat of presence, of witness, of awareness of self. Like, okay, I woke up today. I didn't have to, program my heart and my body and my mind, with an alarm clock last night. I mean, you may set an alarm, but the point is like, even if you set your alarm, okay, if your body needs to sleep, it'll probably sleep through those alarms. Or if you die, the alarms are not going to wake you. So your body has this innate intelligence. And through the practice of breath awareness, you will come to this greater realization that you're already thriving, right? And you don't need to be so focused on the work aspect of things. You can just let yourself rest and relax. And this is something that I talk about in my Thriving HSP portal group in Facebook is, when someone has been in the mindset of survival for many years, or in the mindset of, I got to work, I got to hustle, I got to take care of things, I got to take care of my family, I got to take care of my kids, I got to take care of my parents, I got to take care of my house, I got to take care of my job. Like you're just go, 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 go. You travel down a road often enough, it's going to get paved. Okay, like trails in the forest, right? The trails in the forest are basically people that have walked down those trails enough times where now, life, plant matter, whatever, knows better than to grow there because it knows it's just going to get trampled or cut down. So in the same way, we build roads in the mind that become our automatic response. So you're being asked to step away from the automatic response of just, going through the motions and be more attentive to what you really want to be doing and how you really want to be feeling, right? You want to be feeling good. You want to be feeling inspired. You want to be feeling happy. You don't want to feel like you're just doing what you need to do because, you got to get through this 24 hours and then eat, shit, sleep, work, repeat, right? That's not living. Okay. So your inner child is really asking you to start paying more attention to it, to cultivate more playfulness, to give yourself a little extra time with your coffee, with your lunch, with your journal, with your breath. Really start that breath awareness practice. And I promise you, you put this practice for at least 3 weeks every single day. I promise you that your life will start changing because you will enter the day from that calm seat of self-awareness and loving awareness of like, wow, what an amazing body I have. What a beautiful breath I have. What an amazing, strong, wild heart I have. What an overactive, powerful mind I have that wants and to do and give so much to the world. That's how you become the witness of your life, by literally tapping into that breath awareness. Okay. So those are the messages that I have for you, group 3. Thank you so much for being here. If these messages resonated with you and you feel so inspired, I would appreciate if you hit a like, subscribe, comment. All of your engagement greatly supports my channel and helps me grow. And I'm deeply, deeply appreciative of the energy exchange. Okay, so I'm sending you love and blessings until we meet again.